Hey everybody, welcome to We're Gonna Make You Watch. Bryan here, Isaiah here. We're continuing the fun Halloween talk, and we're gonna dive into talking about Halloween 2 from 1981, written by John Carpenter. Not directed by him this time, though. They went with somebody else. He didn't want to make this movie at all. This, once again, my boy John, man, he loves his money.
Yes, he does.
He'll do almost anything for it, including write a movie that he didn't want to write at all. I think he pretty much said he just got super stoned and then just wrote this fucking movie. Yeah, super stoned and drunk or whatever. And he was probably just drunk, actually, if memory serves me correctly. And he just wrote this movie. And Rick Rosenthal ended up directing the film, written by John Carpenter. This is the sequel that obviously introduced the brother sister dynamic between Michael and Laurie, and excuse me, some people love that aspect. I know a lot of people that absolutely love that aspect of the movie. Mm-hmm. What do you think of the brother sister dynamic?
So, I mean, we had that dynamic for 30 years,
Long
basically
time.
A very, very long time, 30 plus years. So, I mean, I get it. And at first, like when the newest trilogy came out, I was like, oh, they're going to do this shit and make him not, Laurie's brother. That's kind of dumb. But at the same time,
it almost seemed like sacrilege.
But after seeing the films, I'm like, okay, I get it. It makes it more simple, yada, yada, yada. We can talk more about that when we get to those movies here soon. But yeah, I mean, I can go either way. Because at first I hated the idea of them not being siblings, but I like each one for what it was.
Very fair. Yeah.
Halloween 2 is a great continuation of the first movie, yet it builds on it, especially with like the dynamic of the brother sister thing.
Right.
So it's a good. It was a good jumping off point to kind of expand the story with continuing on the same night. So it just picks up right where the first one ends, and it honestly, I've seen people make fan edits of it, of just combining the two movies into one super long movie, which is really cool. But yeah, I mean, it's a great story. I think it's not as strong as the original, and it starts introducing more gore into it, like we had talked about in the last one, where the first movie had like zero gore. It was all atmosphere and tension. This one starts to get more of what we know nowadays as a slasher movie.
As a slasher film, exactly. Yeah, yep. It dials it up. It certainly does. Mm-hmm.
Which is not a bad thing. And honestly, it fits the movie fairly well, I think.
Yeah.
Going more of the slasher route. Because on top of that, you have the score. I like the more organ synth-based score versus
I have this on
the original one.
It's so fucking good. Alan Howarth took the John Carpenter music and really injected some super cool 80s vibe into it. And I might like it more than the original. I might.
I honestly, I always liked it better than the original.
I find myself putting the Halloween 2 soundtrack on more than the Halloween 1.
Mm-hmm. I would do the same if I had them on vinyl too. Yeah. So, but
I got a few.
For the older movies, I think 2 is probably for the 2 original. 2 is better for the music wise. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I like the look of Michael in this one too, because obviously it's the same mask. It's just a little older because it sat underneath Deborah Hill's bed for 3 years.
3 years, yeah.
And obviously Dick Warlock is a little bit of a different build than Nick Castle.
He had a more round face than Nick Castle does.
So I like how the mask just sat on him better. It just made it look creepier.
Yes, he definitely looks creepier. He moves a little more robotic in this movie.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't hate it at all. I like there's a lot in this film that is honestly fucking great. Like there really, really is. Unfortunately, there's a lot in this movie that was handled pretty haphazardly, I guess would
Mhm.
be the way to say it. Some nonsensical stuff happens in the movie. Like, why did they? I mean, I guess they wanted to establish the potential for, you know, um, accidental victims, if you will,
Right.
with when they killed Ben Tramer.
Yep.
They killed him and he got smashed by a fucking cop. And inexplicably, the cop car blows up.
Right.
Like, why would that have happened? It wouldn't have. But they had to get his body on fire so they could have the dentist idea for some reason. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there was just some stuff that's kind of handled a little haphazardly in the movie. But there's so much that it really feels like a bona fide continuation. A, because it takes place on the same night. But even beyond that, it was shot by the same guy, Dean
Yep.
Cundy. He came on and he shot this, so it still had the same feel visually that the original had. It's got the same music, just amped up, and we've got Jamie Lee obviously is back in a somewhat passable
Terrible
wig.
wig.
Yeah,
I
you
thought it
said
was terrible.
I say it's somewhat passable. Hey, different eyes seeing things.
Yeah.
You probably have better vision than me.
I wouldn't go there.
but but yeah, it's in many ways this movie is such a fucking great continuation. It's almost a shame that John didn't say, you know what, I'm going to make this movie. I'm going to direct this film. And it's almost a shame that he didn't really put like his whole heart into it. I mean, he said, well,
Yeah.
can I kill the guy? You know, and they were like, yeah, do whatever you want. So he did, you know. I mean, at the end, the fucking dude blows up and on fire and shit. And they still find a way to bring it, thankfully, because we wouldn't have had some awesome and awesomely bad sequels
Yeah.
that I love for the same reasons that I probably shouldn't. But I know there's one that I can't wait to talk to the one that I know that you love so much. I can't wait
Oh
to
my
get to talk to
God.
that one. I love it. So yeah, this in many ways this is actually just a damn near great follow up to an amazing film.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't really think I have much more to add to it other than stuff that you already nailed. You already said that they upped the gore. That, you know, they did all these really really cool things. They did some strange stuff too that didn't make sense. Like the
Yeah.
first victim, like why did he kill her? Like it didn't. I don't understand why he did.
Right.
It was probably the producers like, well, we need a body on the fucking screen within the first 5 minutes of the movie or some shit. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's like, and it's one of those things where you're like, okay, fuck. So they kill some random fucking girl. It was just kind of odd. And so some of the stuff, once again, that kind of goes into some of the stuff that I said that was handled a little haphazardly and a little odd. But I sure do fucking love this movie. This might be my number 3 in the entire franchise. It might be.
It is my number 3.
Okay, I love that.
In
Yeah,
the
that's
franchise.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you? Let's go ahead and grade it. What would you give this?
So this one, I'm gonna go a B plus on it. Because
Yeah.
it's not as good as the first one, but it's up there. I mean, it's got good quality to it.
Yeah.
Even now, almost 40 years later, it's still got some good quality to it. It's a great slasher film, I feel. Not perfect like the first one, but it's got its charm, I think,
It
and
does.
even to this day.
It's got some fun characters too. That round out the movie. I wanted to make sure I mentioned that before I grade it. Yeah, we got some fun characters like Bud, the fucking total fucking horn dog of a fucking. But yeah, I was gonna land right at the same grade as you are. Actually, I was gonna give it a B plus as well because God dang it, I just there's so much I love in this fucking movie that I think it does absolutely wonderfully.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just not handled quite as well as the original one. Just not quite as much care went into it, to the point that John was drunk when he wrote it. I love it. But my boy John, man, he'll do anything for a paycheck, baby. And thank God. So, all right.
At least he's honest about it.
And he is totally, and that's why I love him. I was just like, I can't get mad at the guy, dude. He's just like totally honest. He's like, oh, you want to pay me for? Okay, I'll fucking do it. I got to pay the mortgage somehow. God damn it. But anything you want to add before we slide out, bro?
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, thank you guys for checking this out. Let us know what you think of Halloween 2. Hit us up in the comments, like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned for more Halloween movie talk, guys. We'll catch you on the next episode.